Good day, ladies and gents, my name is Hills of the Bearded Balkan Blabbermouth and welcome to DiscussThing. Today we're going to discuss something that happened basically last night. To me, at least, where I live. It happened late at night and I saw a tweet from Smash JT saying, "Yo, aren't gonna believe what a Bioware employee just now told me." And I commented, either Dragon Age Veilguard numbers show a massive flop, they're planning on selling the company, or Mass Effect 5 is suspended indefinitely. And it turns out I was right on one of those things. We have leaked Dragon Age Veilguard sales numbers. Smash JT wrote an article on his website, and I do apologize, but my voice is still not recovered. I'm still a little bit sick, so it's a little bit of a quicker review in order to just have me save my voice a little bit. So, the article states exclusive Bioware insider leaks over sales numbers, internal culture war and layoffs incoming. A troubling update from Bioware. An anonymous employee at Bioware with a lengthy amount of experience at the studio has come forward giving some seriously alarming insights about the company's state. And in the article, Smash says that the whistleblower basically the insider told him that the target for Dragon Age Veilguard was 10 million copies, and the game managed to sell 3 million copies. This is something that he later revised, and he was contacted by another trusted source, which will be covered in another video probably today by him, and I do strongly suggest that you go and watch those videos. But they have confirmed that the information given in his last video, which is also on his YouTube channel concerning what I'm talking about now, is that the number is not correct, and the correct number is under 1.5 million total sales. I love when I am right and when other people are right with a simple calculus and just statistic maths doing, because probably a month ago, was it? I talked about that my high estimate for sales numbers for Dragon Age Veilguard will be at the very top 2 million copies. That's with me doubling and just adding numbers that nobody was sure that was going to happen, and I got some scrutiny over that. I was seeing a lot of arguments with a lot of people that told me that those numbers are not correct and those are just speculations and that everything will be released in a quarterly report and yada 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 yada. And now that we have that information, we see that it's actually worse than before, because under 1.5 million sales at a $60 range across all platforms with the production budget that is at least $200 million. You have a giant flop, flopped like a pancake that was thrown from the third floor. That's how hard this game has flopped. And not to mention that their target was 10 million copies. They sure had some high expectations. I mean, how delusional do you have to be to get out such a game, such a propaganda piece, and think that you sell that many copies, especially when you have most probably pre-tested and pre-run some numbers with your audience? Where did they get that specific numbers? Further down the article, Smash writes that the employee stated, emphasizing tyrannies gripping the entire team, the failure of Veilguard has prompted deep introspection within the company, as leadership has been enveloped in scrambling to identify, try to address the root causes. Well, we know the root causes. You didn't make a good game, a propaganda piece, and just clothing it in some gaming elements that don't make sense is exactly your problem. I mean, you should only need to watch a couple of YouTube videos and they'll realize exactly where the problem is. It's pretty obvious to anyone with half a brain to figure out why Veilguard's worked, yes, exactly. But the closer you are to the center, apparently, the more blurry that image gets for some. Yeah, that's because the propaganda is so high intensity there that you don't even know what's reality and what's not. There is also a glimmer of hope mentioned by Smash JT with the new Mass Effect, that it basically says that it's going extreme changes in response to the lesson they had to learn from Veilguard's shortcomings, and internal documents are reportedly using buzzwords like gamer focus to describe the new direction, which is actually pretty good to hear. If that's actually the case and they're actually changing the goals that they most probably initially got with Mass Effect and simply started from the very beginning to be gamer oriented, as they're saying, and making the game as best as possible to be played at, probably taking some hints from the Mass Effect trilogy. That means that it might have some hope for it to be a great game, but this is something that needs to happen throughout the whole company. It needs to happen on a highest level and go all the way down to the service level and have everyone at the company just be gamer oriented, because they're a gaming company. They're not a propaganda company. They're not there to cater to activists. They need to simply cater to gamers. That's it. That's all they need to do. And they have done so before, so they have the formula. And if they do that, they'll have good games following years. Smash JT also depicts concerns from this employee that has leaked this information, that they have secret group chats, just private chat rooms when they follow his content, specifically among a few other prominent YouTubers, which is good. Apparently there's some people who follow normality in that company, which is always a good sign, but they have to be really hidden around there because they're afraid to make our beliefs known around the office, which is again something that is normal when you have an office run by propaganda. It is very hard to speak your mind if you have a different opinion. The leaker also says that there are still great talent at Bioware, people who genuinely care about making excellent game for players, and now it will be the time for them to rise up. If the company is truly shaken and truly is re-evaluating what they need to do and how they need to conduct their business, these people are now the ones who need to speak up. And if they do, they just might steer the company into the right direction. Smash also posts this section in the article. At this point, the elephant in the room here is all the ongoing leaks and insider accounts from Bioware. They highlight a much larger issue at play with the entire video game industry. Talented developers are all too frequently dragged down by poor, unqualified leadership and misguided priorities. DEI in action. While there's always a sliver of hope that Bioware can course correct, the reality is that the layoffs may actually affect the wrong people. And yes, I did forget to mention that, but there are also talks about layoffs in the companies because of the poor performances of their products. There's rumors around the office that layoffs are on the horizon. This is a direct quote apparently from the email, which means that if we take Veilguard's numbers into a comparison, let's say a firm 1.5 million copies sell, which is at the very best $100 million in revenue, which is before you take the cut from all the platforms that promote your game, and also you don't count all the costs for the game. And this has been such a massive flop for such a otherwise expected and anticipated title in the video game industry, that they have just destroyed every connection that people would possibly have in a later instances. Let's say the next Dragon Age game. When you have that game and it's standing between the old better games and the next game that they would want to present to you that is the best Dragon Age game, you still have Dragon Age Veilguard that stands in the way and just taints the whole franchise unless it's absolutely redone, which I don't see happening at all. It's just too expensive and too much was put into this. Bioware really needs to have a deep look within itself, because both they and companies like Ubisoft are currently on the edge of falling and simply be swept by the tidal waves. You know, I talked about that Ubisoft buyout is potentially happening and Tencent is just grinding their teeth waiting for the opportunity to do it. Bioware might follow the same fate, or it just might be closed by Microsoft just as a collateral, because it doesn't really put in the profit anymore. When you have one of your biggest game franchises fall such a massive flop, and when you have so many insiders be brave and leak that information that you yourself don't want to be known, then you have two things that you can do. Either course correct and turn your gaze back to the people who initially helped you and your company to be a reality, aka gamers that bought your games, that gave their vote of confidence to you, or you can continue facing the same way that you have always faced, and with your head in the sand, and then just wait as the tidal waves of irrelevancy, financial loss, and potential closure of the studio sweep you away. Those are the two things that I see happening potentially at Bioware. I do hope that they don't, because I do want to see another Mass Effect game, and I do want to see another good Mass Effect game, and I do want to play it and immerse myself into that universe once again, because for me, the Mass Effect universe was one of the best created things in gaming ever. And I do want to see more gaming companies just turn back to the way they were and just have a good symbiosis between gamers and themselves. Just build up on what's already there and just have a good gaming environment for every gamer to enjoy, have good quality games, so that you know that you're giving away your money for the best time of your life, the good escapism that every gamer wants to have, and to just log in, immerse ourselves into this universe, and help us just take the pressure from the daily struggles away, maybe kill a bunch of zombies along the way, and just feel much better afterwards. This is what we have been fighting for, and the fight is good. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you did up until this point, I'm sorry for the low energy currently. I'm barely keeping it together, but I did want to put out this video because this information is an absolute bombshell. It confirms what we have speculated for several months now, and it also confirms that sites like Gamealytics are somewhat accurate and do work in our favor when we want to predict something like this. We also see that the true state of Bioware is much more there than what was at least somewhat previously reported, and it is also a very good way to learn more and more things. So kudos to the brave insiders. Massive thanks and massive respect to Smash JT for being a point of contact that these people can rely on and being someone that they can trust, which is amazing. Much kudos to him as well, and for reporting as immediately when he finds out this information. This is absolutely amazing. If by any chance nobody has seen his channel, this is the channels to go to and follow for all those gaming news that you want to hear. It's an amazing channel. And on the other hand, if you have enjoyed what I do, you can click the like and subscribe button. You can also click the join button and join one of the 3 tiers in the DiscussThing guild. And if you want to help me and my wife support homeless animals and animals in shelters, click the link in the description below to our Patreon page, where 100% of any proceeds that we get there go to homeless animals and animals in shelters. Thank you very much. My name is Kelzo, this was DiscussThing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers and stay fresh.